just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back, eSim Studios YouTube channel. We are live on this Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, hell, maybe even Saturday morning, depending on where you're located at. Excuse me, I want to welcome you to the live stream. We have a lot to discuss. How does my volume sound before we get to it? Sound good? Yeah, we're good. All right, we are good. So let me go live on TikTok real quick. I know. Okay. All right, so I got a really cool setup. Sorry for the delay. I knew I was gonna have to push it back. I was outside. Man, it's hot as hell outside. It's 102 again. I think tomorrow's supposed to be 104. What the hell is going on out here? I had to come home. I had to take a shower. I had to sweaty as hell. Had to change, and that's for the delay. But I have, it's so cool. I got a Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra, the tablet from Samsung, the best one that they have. It's freaking badass. I have it set up as a third monitor here, all connected to my Windows computer. You can turn on second screen. See, this is little things like this that I absolutely love about Samsung. Can't do this with Pixel. You can choose second screen in the Samsung settings, in the tablet settings, and I can use it wireless or wired. Now, I have everything wired just so there's no lag, just so everything looks good. But I'm gonna put some stuff up on the screen here. We're gonna take a look at DXOMARK just released the Google Pixel 11 Pro XL camera review, camera rankings. We're gonna take a look at those. We're gonna review those, and that display that I'm gonna put up on the screen is what you're looking at on, well, it is my tablet. It's freaking badass. That's why I love, like, that's why I'll probably always have a Samsung. Now, I know there's probably other manufacturers that do similar stuff. I know Pixel doesn't do it. And I was thinking while I was getting all this set up, and you know, that's one of the reasons why I think some people consider Pixel a little too boring. And I get it. You know, Samsung's more for the power user. And this is a perfect example. Now, do they have second screen in the phone settings? I think it's only a tablet only. Let's see. It's called second screen, and you have to download this application on your Windows PC. It's in the Microsoft App Store, but it's freaking badass. Second screen. No, it's not on the phone. It's only on the tablets. Okay. Well, that would be cool. Oh, I guess you can emulate or display your screen in Phone Link, but you can't display that on like a StreamYard, right? Like on a program where you can live stream. That's where the second screen comes in handy with the tablet. It's freaking badass. So I have a lot more testing. Let's talk about the Pixel, because that's what we're all here for. Well, at least I know some are, some aren't. But so look, I know so my wife was telling me, she was like, look, somebody posted your video of the device overheating, the one I did yesterday. She said, look, somebody posted it in the Google Pixel Reddit thread. I was like, really? And she handed me her phone, and I was looking at it. And yeah, look, it wasn't the absolute perfect test, because if you missed it, I'm sure most of y'all probably saw it. But what I did was take the new Pixel 11 Pro XL, take it outside in the heat. And the whole purpose of me going outside was to see if I could get it to overheat. It wasn't to review the video or review the camera. Takes some badass pictures, and that's the frustrating thing. But let's get back to the video. So my whole intentions yesterday was to try to get it to overheat. Little did I know it was going to take 1 minute and 47 seconds. I thought it would take 5, maybe 10 minutes. I took a few pictures and boom, it was there. So I got criticized, and that's, oh, look, I don't take anything personal. I think somebody even called me a clown. I've been called worse. It's okay. I'm a big boy. I can take it, right? Like, that stuff doesn't. I've called people a clown before in not a lot, but I've done it before. So I'm like, well, what goes around comes around. You know, it doesn't offend me. But I want to mention the whole point of that video yesterday was to try to get it to overheat, because I put out a short 2 or 3 days ago saying, uh-oh, this is not good news. I've been seeing a ton of reviewers say the phone has given them the device is too hot warning, right? That notification. And even before I got the phone, I put a short out saying, well, damn, this is not good. I've seen a number of reviewers say this. So I was like, well, when we get it in, let's see. So that was the whole point of the video. I think some people thought it was going to be a video test, a video review. No, I was trying to get it to overheat. I was trying to push its limits to see what would happen, right? And yeah, it wasn't the perfect test. I'll be the first to admit. Like, damn it, am I going to zoom in again? This stupid ass webcam. Yeah, it wasn't the perfect video, right? And some are saying, oh, well, it's not a fair comparison because I took my S26 Ultra out there and the iPhone out there, and well, I was recording with the iPhone the entire time. I did not even stop it. And I put that up on a tripod, the iPhone 17 Pro, and started recording myself and started recording. And then in the middle of recording, well, not after the first time it gave me that warning, maybe like a couple minutes into the recording, I was like, well, you know what? Let me record video 4K 60 on here, just like on the Pixel, and see if I can get this to overheat. It was 102 outside, and I laid it down on the concrete. And look, I wasn't staring. I was off doing this with the Pixel, so I wasn't looking down at my Samsung to see if I got that notification. But a telltale sign of a device getting too hot and losing functionality is, like you saw in the video, the Pixel will not change sensors. You couldn't switch from 12 to 50, or you couldn't zoom in, or it'll start breaking down. It'll start reducing how many features it gives you because it's just too hot. It just simply can't handle it. And it was also choppy. So like the operating system, very choppy, very sluggish. The video playback that you see on the screen, if you move your phone, it's a like you have slow motion, right? The Pixel was essentially shutting down. Samsung was running fine, like not one issue at all. And it was on the concrete, 102 outside. I'm sure the radiant temperature coming off from the concrete had to have been 110, 115. So like, I know it wasn't technically a one-to-one test comparison, but I think some people that were criticizing me don't realize I didn't shoot the video yesterday to technically test it against the S26 Ultra or test it against the iPhone 17 Pro. The whole point of the video was to record myself and see how long it would take the Pixel to overheat. So yeah, I get it. I mean, if you didn't know that watching the video, I can see how you would see it that way, but sorry. So I was going to try and go out today. I would get some camera samples and stuff. Guess what? It overheated on me again today. So if I have time today, I'm going to try to do a more fair comparison, because here's what I could add to it. I want to make it as truthful as possible, but I want to show you what I'm seeing on the phone and how many times it gives you that notification. So what I was thinking is, I could record video on the Pixel, and then while I hit record on the Pixel, pull down the notification tab and hit screen record, so I can record the operating system in the camera app. So essentially, you're going to be seeing what I'm seeing on the screen, and you'll see every time it pops up, device too hot, device, shutting down features, blah, 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 blah. and then I'll, upload that so you can see exactly, what it shows. But it's a real freaking issue. Like, there's no way. I was thinking about this today. I'm not keeping this phone. I mean, I'm sending it back. Now, is it a fluke thing? Maybe. Now, here's another issue that I have not talked about. That well, I've only had it for a day or so, but here's another issue that's coming up. Now, it's a little concerning because it's not just my phone. So I got this phone through Verizon. My text messages, my service is jacked up. Now, it's not just on my phone. My wife's Pixel 11 Pro is jacked up. My wife's brother's Pixel 11 Pro XL is jacked up. So my wife's, my brother-in-law's, and my Pixel all have issues. Now theirs haven't overheated, but they haven't been out in the heat like I have. So who's to say? That's what I'm trying to figure out is this an issue with all Pixels or is it just some Pixels? My brother-in-law is sending his back to Google Fi, and they're sending him a new one. It's that jacked up. So this is not like this is not good. This is not good at all. This is an absolute horrible launch. I mean, it's embarrassing. It honestly, it honestly makes me wonder, do they test these devices? I mean, I know they do, but do they? Like, do they really test them? Because Samsung, Apple, when they get ready to launch a new device, what they'll do is they'll manufacture maybe 1,000, right? Once they make their mind up on the device, the way it looks, the internals, the hardware, they'll actually make 1,000 of them. And then what they'll do is they'll essentially hand them out. Now, even the employees have to sign NDAs. You can't post this. This is top secret. But they'll hand out 1,000 of them to employees and let them take it home or maybe just use in the office. But they'll actually let them use it for a month or so. And they'll have to file bug reports, what happened, what went wrong. And they'll actually internally test these devices. Now, I would think Google does the same thing. In fact, I would almost bet on that, meaning they probably do a similar internal testing, but it makes you wonder, are they only testing 5, 10, 100 of these? Because I honestly, I honestly cannot imagine them putting out a device, giving it the green light, if they got one like mine. There's no way. In fact, if I was employed by Google and I was on the Pixel department, they handed me, I would be like, no, we cannot put this out to public until we figure this out. It's jacked up. Like, how do you expect people to go to SeaWorld with their family? Hell, I was on, when I told you my wife handed me her phone because somebody in the Pixel Reddit thread posted my video. I was going through the comments of that video. There were a ton of people saying they have the same issue. There was a guy that said he walked his dog and his daughter to the park, right in their neighborhood park. And he said he started taking 5 pictures and he got the overheating thing. And here's the catch. He said it was 78 degrees where he was located. He didn't say where, but he said, and the worst part about it is it is 78 degrees right now. 78 degrees and your phone is doing that. I'm almost speechless because we've only had the public for 2 days, and essentially everybody's had it for at least 24 hours. And I'm seeing a number of people, I'm seeing this pop up as an issue for a number of people, not just creators, but everybody in general. Now, here's the other thing. I don't know how many this affects. I don't know if it's 10% of, you would think they would be all the same, right? Because they have a very, very strict mold suppliers, hardware, technically they're all the same. So I don't know why some would overheat, some don't. There are now, look, we don't know if these people are telling the truth. Obviously, that's why I like to document this stuff and put it on video. But some people are saying theirs are fine. So I don't know what's going on. I have no clue what's going on. I have no friggin' clue. But it's not good. I know that. I know for sure I'm not keeping mine. Now, am I going to return it and request another one, or am I just going to be done with it? Because that's the thing that sucks, is it reduces our options as US buyers, right? It reduces our options as US buyers. Hang on, let me plug in this this iPhone's getting low. Because all we have in the United States officially is Apple, Samsung, Google, and I guess technically nothing, but I don't even recommend their phones at this point because they only work for T-Mobile. And you know, for me, it doesn't get Wi-Fi 7 on these nothing phones. So it's just, it really upsets me, honestly. Hang on, let me plug this in. Damn, can it reach there? Oh, it's so close. I don't think it will. Damn it. Let me try this. Hang on. iPhone's about to die. Yo, as much as I dog on iPhone, y'all know I love to troll Apple. I'm gonna be honest here. That iPhone 17 Pro, that thing's a little army tank. I mean, it is full metal jacket. That thing chugging through 102-degree weather yesterday. I mean, I do have to give them some respect because the iPhone it held its own out there. I'm not even lying. Will it reach? Yes. Okay. I'm gonna have a cable in front of my face. Y'all can't see it, can you? Okay, cool. Oh boy. Let's see what's going on with y'all. Okay, so here's this. Anybody in the comments? Anybody in the comments, do you have a Pixel 11 series? If you do, has your device given you that it's too hot? Oh, I guess they could. What's going on? What's going on, brother? Locked and loaded. Appreciate you being here today, sir. Yes, sir. You too. How is Miami? It's hot. It's hot in there. It's hot in South Florida, huh? I already know. Hey, somebody in the Pixel Reddit thread said that their device overheated. Their Pixel 11 was, I think it was a Pro, and they're in Miami, and they said, "Damn, it's hot and humid out here." And it shut down on them, I think they said, after they ate at a marina, went out to the boat dock and took some pictures of some boats, and he said that's when he got his notification, and the camera essentially resorted to just the 1x regular camera sensor, and that's it. Meaning you couldn't zoom in, you couldn't change your to 50 megapixel, couldn't record video. Like, god dang. It's kind of frustrating. The Pixel is so picky about what charger. Oh, that's another story. It gets, given that they don't include their own proprietary charger in the box. So that's another video that I'm gonna redo. I don't have time today, but I do have an official 45 watt Google charger. My wife is using it because I'm like, whatever. I'm not a big Pixel user, at least anymore. And it looks like I won't be, but I gave her the charger anyways. I'm going to probably borrow that charger tomorrow and do another charging test. And that's another thing that frustrates me is if the charging is full power and you get, I know they don't, all phones don't get what they say, they don't get what they're rated at, meaning like if your S26 Ultra is rated at 60 watts, it's rare that you hit 60 watts, right? I think the closest I've gotten to on my S26 Ultra is 47 watts, 47 or 48, right? I get that, right? But yesterday, I was getting what, 17, 18? Like that's less than half, way less than half. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but it would suck, right? Because what if you use the Pixel charger rated at 45 watts, your phone's 45 watts, you plug it in, let's say you get 40 watts, right? Well, then, you're going to have to buy an official charger, which sucks. And that's still not okay, because that's essentially what Apple's doing. What a lot of these companies do, they nickel and dime their customers saying, oh yeah, it's rated at 45 watts. You can get 75% in just 30 minutes. Oh boy. But you got to buy our $50, $60 charger. Really? You're going to raise the price on us. And then you're going to tell us if we want to hit those speeds, we have to spend more money and buy another one of your products. No, I'm good. I'll pass. That's what I like about Samsung. Doesn't do that. OnePlus doesn't do that. Motorola doesn't do that. Now I know you're going to say, well, OnePlus, you have to have the Super VOOC charger for OnePlus. No, my 140 watt charger right here activates the Super VOOC charging, proprietary charging method in my OnePlus. I can charge the OnePlus 15 and whatever it's rated at, 100% in like 28 minutes, just like I had the OnePlus charger. So I don't have any of those problems with any of my other phones. And we will shame Google tomorrow if that is true, because I don't like that. And I don't think y'all should too. And it's just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You're going to be super picky about the charger you got to put in your box. I mean, I think you should put it in the box anyways, but especially then, yeah, like I said, they take it out and then they force you to buy their product if you want the fastest charging speeds. Yeah, thanks a lot, dickheads. What's going on, man? Yeah, Phone Link works with pretty much any modern Android phone on Windows these days. Surface Duo had extra functionality on that. Yes, I like Phone Link. I use Windows every day. I use Android every day. So having something that links the mobile experience to the desktop experience is a big plus for me, myself, and everybody else. Now, there was an article, I think I did a story on this last week, or it's probably 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, but they're hard at work on revamping the Phone Link application. We all know Apple, unfortunately, sets the standard for ecosystems, right? And in the Android side of things, we need to get on, or at least try. Maybe we won't ever be on the Apple ecosystem level, but at least give us something a little more, right? I think Android is still, it's very divided. Samsung's probably, as I mentioned, the second to best ecosystem, but not everybody wants a Samsung phone. And let's face it, not everybody wants a Samsung laptop. They're good now, but even though as of 2 years ago, they sucked. But the developers at Microsoft are hard at work on revamping the Phone Link application to bring more functionality to all Android phones. So I look forward to that, because Apple, as much as I hate them, they do have a really good ecosystem. It's almost unbeatable. So I don't think the phones themselves would be second screens for your PC. Yeah, I just checked. It's just tablets, but it's badass. If y'all can see what I'm seeing right now, and I'll throw my screen up here in a second. We're gonna jump into the DXOMARK scores for the Pixel 11 series. And if we have enough time, if anybody wants to come up and chat for a little bit, we can certainly do that as well. I think if LG Mobile hadn't stopped making phones and tablets, Samsung would have more competition and they would still be active in the US marketplace. Yeah, I know. That's a the mobile industry as a whole. Now, let's just focus on the US industry, the mobile technology market, because Samsung has to be looking at this and just whether you want to say it's a big sigh of relief, whether you want to say they're laughing, whatever, they're they are. I'm talking about Samsung Mobile, the mobile department. They got to be happy at this, meaning that's good for Samsung that Google is fumbling the launch of the Pixel 11 series, because that probably means more sales for them, right? Now, I'm not putting these videos out here to try and hurt Google Pixel sales. I don't care one way or the other. If you want to buy a Pixel, be my guest, right? I'm just putting on display, recording, documenting what I come across on the Pixel I purchased with my own money. But Samsung's got to love this because there's so many few options. Like, as I mentioned earlier, now this hurts. It hurts me to say this. It's frustrating for me. Y'all know I love Pixel, but I have to be honest here, right? So there's not that many options. It's Samsung in the United States. It's Apple. It was Google. Now I'm not going to be recommending a Pixel, or at least a Pixel 11 series. So that's two phones. And then I did mention nothing, but I don't recommend those anymore either. We're down to two phones. Two. Man. Although someone was saying the new Walmart on tablets have a. Oh yeah. Those are pretty cool. I actually considered getting my daughter one of those, and then I was like, well, they're nice to have. I probably, for like, if you just need a, I don't want to say throwaway tablet, but I don't know, a burner tablet or tablet for a little kid or an elderly, or even you, if you just need, I don't know, something to put up in the car on a car mount, or you get the point, right? If you don't want to spend a boatload of money and you just need a basic tablet, yeah, they're probably a good choice, right? And that would be really cool if they did have a second screen feature in there, because you can get one of those tablets. I think they have like 4 or 5 of them from like $80 to a few $100, but it's still a lot cheaper than a Galaxy tablet. I still use my old LG phone a lot. The V60 Hi-Fi DeX, stylus support, dual screen. Yeah, I wish LG didn't bow out. I wish HTC would come back in some form or fashion. Now, for those of y'all that forgot, Google purchased patents and essentially a large majority of HTC holdings. The patents, their designs, their technology. Google also, when they made that big purchase maybe 13 years ago, a lot of employees from HTC were now under Google's umbrella, employed by Google. And honestly, they'll probably never come back. I know there's an HTC phone I think they tried to launch a year or two ago, but that was only to be sold, I think, somewhere in Asia. It was not allowed. That sale that Google purchased HTC, in those documents, in those legal proceedings, HTC is not allowed to sell phones in the North American market. So I just wish we had more options, whether that be HTC somehow, some way, whether that be LG. It's very thin at this point. It's very, very, very thin. Sunstroke could have been. I was almost there yesterday. I was sweating my ass off. It's hot, man. It's hot down here. I was sweating my ass off, and I wasn't even doing anything. I was just taking pictures. But you know, you're on that black asphalt in the radiant heat. It's just baking you. Google's taken so much heat in all aspects. Most honest reviewers are saying to don't buy until Google patches phone, even if they can. Yeah, I'm not. Look, I wouldn't recommend it. I can't recommend that phone at this point, because as I mentioned earlier, I don't know what percentage of phones this is happening to, I know I'm not the only one because there's other YouTubers out there that have had the same issue. And I've seen some commenters say they had the same issue. But I'm not going to recommend that phone. It's a horrible experience. How the hell are you going to buy? They're going to raise the price on us. And then you can't take more than 5 photos without it telling you it's overheating. Huh? I thought you meant heat. Oh, yes. As in criticism for a second there. Google's taking too much heat. I was about to say, yeah. I really want Pixel 11 Pro XL. How is the camera, gaming, video, or wait for the Pixel 12 or Galaxy S27? So here's the thing. I'm going to put out, I started recording, and tomorrow I'm going to put out my performance video. I'm going to compare the Pixel 11 Pro XL performance-wise to all the other devices that I have, including the tablet, the MediaTek chip. So you're going to have the Tensor G6 versus MediaTek chips versus different Snapdragon chips, and the Apple A19 Bionic chip. So you'll get a good view, a good idea of what this can do. But I will upload that tomorrow. I just don't have enough time to put it together tonight, but I will upload that tomorrow. I'm going to upload another charging test, and then the network test. I got so caught up with this overheating thing that I didn't see coming, that I have a network test video that I'm going to upload tomorrow as well. So just stay tuned. I'm on it. I got a lot of videos to upload. But right now, in this very moment, I cannot recommend the Pixel. Now, that might change. And look, who's to say they don't fix it? Do y'all remember when the iPhone, what was it? The iPhone 16 Pro, or is it 15 series? You remember that when it first launched? Everybody saying, oh my God, it's overheating. Oh my God. Well, they fixed that. It took them a few months, but they did. Now, all they did was tweak the thermal management system inside the CPU, because that's what was happening. It would get so hot, and then the CPU would slow down, just so it can cool off a little bit. Remember, it's like an engine where if your engine goes up, now I know it's a little different because you have to, it actually hurts it when it's at idle. You actually need more fluid to run through it, but you don't want to redline the damn thing because it's never going to cool down. Sort of like that, right? So I think this potentially, now look, it might not be, but my initial thought was thinking of Apple a couple years ago, same issue at launch, overheating, and they fixed it with a couple of updates. So I don't know if this is fixable. Maybe the engineers at Google didn't foresee something inside when building the CAD design in-house. I don't know. I have no clue. All I know is it overheats very, very fast. Maybe it's not fixable. I guess time will tell. But at this very moment, no, I don't recommend you getting one. I know. And again, somebody on Reddit said this happened. Theirs overheated, and they were in 78-degree weather. And if that's the case, if that's true, that's a very bad look. Because I'm not going to say I give them a pass out here in 102-degree heat, but you get it, right? You're like, well, definitely the heat, played a factor in that. The ambient temperature outside and the heat radiating up from the black concrete. But in 78-degree weather, that's not good. Yeah, now Pixel tried, Pixel failed. Maybe they should stick to software at this point. I don't think that's a bad idea. I hate to say it, but it looks like Samsung and Apple are only and I'm telling you. I work in the heat, and my Pixel 11 Pro XL was super hot under my normal activities. My S26 Ultra and my 17 Pro Max never had this issue. So hold up, did yours, you said you work outside in the heat, and your Pixel 11 Pro was super hot. Oh, you're saying it physically got hot, the device? In the S26 Ultra and 17. I don't like it one bit, but I don't know. Yeah, you're telling me. I've given up on nothing phones at this point. I thought they had it all figured out with this new 4A Pro, and they haven't. They haven't figured it out. What's going on? I had the 10 Pro and I tried the 11 Pro, and the cameras are huge upgrades. The autofocus has improved and the 5X is way better. Yeah, so the actual cameras, the few pictures I did take, they're really good. They are really freaking good. So almost to the point where I was like, holy crap. Now, it was kind of hard to see because I was baking out there in the sun, but when I got home last night, I busted out the Pixel to look at some of the shots that I took, and I was like, whoa. It's really good. Speaking of that, let's pull up the DXOMARK just released their Pixel 11 Pro XL camera test, camera scores, camera review. And let's see where it scored, shall we? On TikTok, I know you can't see what I'm displaying on the display on the screen, but I'll spell it out for you here. So DXOMARK, if you're unaware, they're typically, all they do is, well, I think they do more now, but they're typically the benchmark, no pun intended, when it comes to camera testing. Now, they actually have a YouTube channel, and it's I suggest you subscribe to their YouTube channel. It's very informative, and they actually break down and show you what all goes into a camera test, indoor camera review. It's much more extensive than mine. I would hope so. But they're like typically known as like their list is typically known worldwide as everybody wants that #1 spot. So they're a well-respected online publication that have been reviewing phones and or more specifically displays, cameras on these mobile devices for I don't know, 5-7 years, maybe longer than that. But let's take a look at this. So let's jump into the Pixel 11 Pro XL and see what we got here. So they consider this an ultra premium, right? Now let's see what they say. So what are the pros? Pleasant exposure with extended dynamic, okay, blah, blah, blah. Natural looking colors, yes. Fast and reliable autofocus when it works. Excellent portrait mode, effective video stabilization. Now what are the cons of this device? Loss of fine detail can occur in all lighting conditions when using the ultra-wide camera, and residual noise remains visible in low light video, especially in darker scenes. All right, so where did this score? Where do they have this device? #5 in the world. I was thinking before this, maybe a week ago, I think I said it would be right around there. I didn't think it had what it took to get to the #1 spot, and I still thought there were maybe 1 or 2 devices that still might edge it out, and it looks like that was the case. So this is now #5 is, you know how many companies would kill to be #5 on the DXOMARK list? That's still a very, very almost hard to obtain position scoring where the Pixel sits. And as I mentioned, the few pictures I did take yesterday, they look badass, but what's the point of having the phone if you can't even freaking use it? So 5th overall global ranking. So let's see. Now before we get in there, let's take a look at kind of where its strong points are. And it essentially has strong points all across the board, because you can see here overall camera score scored 168 points out of a total 175 points. You can see regular photo evaluates camera performance, okay, main shooter, bokeh, wide, ultra wide, and telephoto. So you can see it's a it's right up there in points, scores, and everything that they tested. Now, video is pretty good too. So got a total score of 162 points out of a total 172 points. The main sensor is good, ultra wide is good, telephoto not as good, but I think what they knocked it on the telephoto here is the AI, the what auto super res zoom, or whatever the hell they call it. You know, because it takes a video. Excuse me. It's either a video, but a still photo. Oh no, that would be video. Is it? It's listed under video. Well, look, when you zoom in that far, the farther you zoom in, the less detail you're gonna get. So maybe it's the case where it zooms in so far that it just some of the detail just drops off of a cliff at some point, right? Whether it's I don't know at what magnification, but I'm assuming that's why they knocked it a few points. Portrait mode's very good, low light's pretty damn good, and zoom is fairly good. Now let's see this. Where are we gonna go? Oh yeah, the selfie. So this is their selfie. That was just the rear cameras that we just reviewed the scores. Their selfie camera got number 2 in the world, meaning the second best selfie camera in the world. At least that's what they're claiming. You can see it almost scored. I did score perfect. Damn, it got a perfect rating on video. So like vlog or recording yourself with a video for the front-facing camera, perfect score. I think it's been a long time since I've seen a perfect score getting achieved from one of these devices. That's pretty freaking good. Now, I was too concerned yesterday about the overheating warning that I kind of lost focus on, hey, let me see how the photos look, or let me let me see what the video looks like. I was too concerned about the freaking thing shutting down because it was getting too hot. So maybe this phone is just meant for, you know, the North Pole or Antarctica or people living in Alaska. You know, let's see here. Scores. Let's go to the global ranking and camera testing and see what phones beat this Pixel out. So there you go. We got number 1 is the Huawei Pura 80 Ultra. It's the very best camera phone in the world. Number 2, Vivo X300 Pro. Number 3, Oppo Find X9 Ultra. And tied at number 3 again is Vivo X300 Ultra. Those two phones, you'll see a gazillion YouTube video reviews of the Vivo X300 Ultra and the Oppo Find X9 Ultra. And then after that is the Pixel 11 Pro XL. And then not too far after that, you get the 17 Pro. You get the Oppo Find X9 Pro. So it's in good company. Let's see what phone nudged the selfie camera out. Damn. iPhone 17 Pro, the best selfie camera. And then number 2 is a 1-year-old phone, damn near 2-year-old phone, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And then you get the Pixel 11 Pro XL. That is crazy. And number 7, you get the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Well over 2-year-old phone. Now, notice these lists. Samsung is nowhere to be found. And that's one of my gripes about Samsung is they need to look. I don't expect Samsung with the S27 Ultra. I don't expect them to be up there in the number 3, number 2, number 1, or even number 5 or 6. But I would like to see them get in the top 10. I would, or at least close. I think when this S26 Ultra launched, it launched at number 26 in the world, meaning it was the 26th best camera phone. And I think that might even be pushing it. I guess I could go back and find out. But all I know is it was kind of embarrassing. But you know, I would like to see them do a little better. And I think they will on this one, because this S27 series, specifically the Pro and the Ultra, is supposed to have all new camera hardware, good camera hardware this time. So hopefully they'll crack the top 10 or shit, maybe even top 15. But that would be an improvement over anything they've launched in the past. Yeah, that's the other thing, is that I didn't want to set it up and then go out, automatically go outside. So I set it up 2 nights ago when I got it on the 20th. And I let it settle in. And then the very next day is when I went outside to go take photos. Yeah. Yeah, it'll do it to you. Yeah, the 9, look, I'm not against buying a Pixel. In fact, when I send this Pixel 11 Pro XL back, when I return it, I think I'm just going to go grab a Pixel 9 Pro XL. I've said it in the past, I'll say it again. That's probably the last best Pixel or device that they put out. SIM card slot, display's still great, cameras are phenomenal. So it's still a good device, the 9 series. But I'm probably going to do that. You got the Olive Pro XL 512. I finished setting up the phone. The good news, it didn't get hot. Oh, good. Like my Pixel 8 Pro when I first set that up. I did some benchmarks, but I'll test it on Monday. Huh. Interesting. Well, good. I'm glad yours did not get too hot and or overheat. Please keep us updated over the next few days, over this next week or two. Let us know if it does overheat. I think Pixel users need to be vocal online, whether it overheats or not. I need people, we all need people. If you have the device, let it know, whether it's here on eSIM Studios or on a Reddit thread or underneath another Pixel review. People, we need to know, Google needs to know, how many of these are getting hot. Is it a manufacturing issue? Is it they just need to scale back the CPU? I don't know what's going on. I don't think anybody does at this point. It's so new. We're only like 36 hours in. So it's certainly not off to a good start. You do need to buy a Pixel charger. Well, I do have one. So I will record a charging review tomorrow with the official Google Pixel charger and see if that helps. Yes. Yeah, I was going to try to get to that today. I don't think I am. I'll probably have to do a video or talk about that tomorrow. Yeah, I saw that yesterday. Motorola, that is correct. That is correct. Now, I don't like buying and or suggesting Motorola budget or mid-range Motorola phones because they don't update them. And I guess the only flagship Motorola phone they sell here is the Razr Fold. That's a foldable. I don't like foldables. That's why I don't really think of them right off the top of my head. Now, they do have the signature, but they don't officially sell that here. So that's why I don't really consider. They are technically, you are correct. But they will have that new Motorola phone out here in the beginning half of next year. So definitely look forward to that. Maybe that'll take the Pixel place. I just don't know. Too many compromises for premium price. It doesn't compete with the competition. It does not. Are all Pixels expecting this? Not everyone. From reviews I've seen so far say it, but most reviews, shill a bit. Yeah, most of them do. It's very unfortunate. In fact, there was somebody that mentioned this happened to a reviewer where they got the same notification and they showed it briefly, and I don't even think they meant to, but they never even said anything about it. And that's when I hit the unsubscribe button. I want to know about these things, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Like, you need to get the word out. If this is happening, let everybody know. And I think some people are afraid, it's gonna come off as I'm criticizing them. Maybe, I can't tell you what to say or how to say it, but just give the information to the people. And if they don't send you a phone anymore, because some YouTubers like, well, I don't know if I want to criticize them so much because they might stop sending me phones. Who cares? Then buy your own freaking phone. Like, I've given up at this point for people sending me phones, and I know, especially over this last 6 months, nobody's sending me anything because I'm too honest, right? And I don't just shit on these companies to shit on them. I'm being honest. I tell y'all a lot of stuff that I love to use, and I love features about this phone and about that phone. But I'm also going to give you the bad stuff as well. I'm just, it is what it is. But I can't stand people that try to hide stuff or make something seem like it's not. People used to blame Exynos for fabricating the chips, and I'm sure that didn't help, but TSMC has done the last few years. So yeah, that's a really, really interesting point. That was one of the benefits of moving to TSMC, is their packing process. It's world-renowned packing process, and that essentially means how they construct that silicon, that chip, that system on a chip, that CPU. Exynos, Samsung, what are the Exynos chips known for in the past, right? Overheating. Well, it has a lot to do, packing, how you physically construct it has a lot to do with that outcome, right? And that's why Samsung hasn't really gotten a good grip on packing or construction of these chips, or the manufacturing of these chips. TSMC, on the other hand, complete opposite. It seems like they're printing gold over there, meaning like, yeah, they'll have a hiccup every now and then, like like that iPhone I was talking about, but that might not even be TSMC's fault. That might have been an Apple fault, meaning they didn't have that CPU fine-tuned just right, and they eventually got over that hump. So it probably was not TSMC's fault, but it makes you wonder what's going on. So is it a design flaw? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know how many people this is affecting. Who's to blame? Obviously Google is. They put their name on it, but yeah, I don't know. I would like to look into that further. I'll probably do that on my off time so I don't bore y'all. But you bring up a fantastic point. Yeah, it was super hot living in Florida. I'm hesitant to keep it. Test it. Use it hard for the next, depending on where you got it. Because like I got mine from Verizon, and if you look at the fine print, it says you have, or at least for mine it did, I have 30 days to return the phone and or cancel my service. Return the service. So I'm going to run it hard these next 30 days. Whether you got yours from Amazon, I think they have a 30-day return policy, or you got it from AT&T or T-Mobile, which is like a 2-week return policy, or Best Buy. Run it hard. Do everything you can think of, which might include, I've done this in the past, I don't know where you live, but I've even put phones in my backyard. Now, not in direct sunlight, right? Because it's 100 friggin' degrees outside. Put it under a tree. Put it, obviously where nobody's going to steal it. All my neighbors are like senior citizens. I live in a gated community, so I don't have to, thank God, I don't have to worry about people, all breaking in or stealing stuff or porch pirates. But I'm saying that to say this, that sometimes I'll stick my phone in the backyard and put it in the shade, still hot outside, for an hour, and then start testing it to see how it runs when the device is hot. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Actually, I got a long list of stuff I got to do, but test it out. And the last thing you want to do, see, here's what sucks. The last thing you want to do is be like kind of on the fence. I don't know. Do I want it? Do I want to keep it? Do I want to return it? Kind of sitting on the fence, right? And your 14-day return window goes by. And then on like the 16th day, you start having issues. Like, God dang it. That's happened to me before. So that's what I'm saying. Get out there, test it, take a bunch of pictures, take a bunch of videos, run some games on it, run whatever you can think of on it to see just what it could do. Because it sucks to be stuck with a phone that that you don't want. I've been happy with the cellular with the Pixel 11 Pro XL modem getting damn 4.8 gigs on the download and 625 on upload. Holy crap, that is fast as hell. I'm assuming yours doesn't have any issues. I love my Pixel 11 Pro XL, no complaints. Interesting. So you don't have any, you've taken, I'm assuming you've taken pictures and videos and you have no issues whatsoever. Isn't that crazy? So why are some people like myself having all these problems? Well, I'm glad. That's good. You got one that is not having any problems, because you will probably enjoy it. Look, if this phone never had any issues and it ran like the S26 Ultra, it would be a nice phone to have and to use. But in my shoes, where I sit right now, it's just not the case. But I can see how it'd be a good phone. It's just not a good look, and that's what I'm trying to figure out, is how many people is this really affecting? Are we talking about 5% of people? Are we talking about 15, 20% of people? I don't know. Or of users, I mean, or buyers. I just don't know. There's conflicting information out there. If nothing is going to double down on smartphone manufacturing or largely revert mostly audio. Brand Motorola. Right. Yeah, they typically don't launch flagships here in the United States. Let's see. So it's not really competing in flagship space. Right. Yep. Yeah, those are badass, right? You've seen those on YouTube. I wish they sold those here, because I would buy one in a heartbeat. I know. You're blaming that cheap GPU. You saw that, right? The Genshin Impact, it's not compatible. You saw what happens when people download and install that game. It brings up a pink screen. Yeah, it's not a good look. And that's what I was talking about earlier in testing. Because if we're getting that on review units and production units, where you download so many, and these are not just random rinky-dink games. Like if I put a game out there, nobody would download it. But I'm talking about like some of the most popular titles on the Google Play Store in these games. People are downloading them and they're like, well, what the hell's going on? The gameplay is all jacked up. I'm talking super jacked up, where it's all out of whack. And then they show that same game on an S26 Ultra and it runs smooth as hell. You would think, that's why I started this off by saying, do they even test these phones? And I know it's kind of tongue-in-cheek. Obviously they do, but I don't think they test them well enough. Because if you're on that level of Samsung and Apple, and I know they sell more phones, I get that, but they hand their phones out to 1,000 employees for feedback. Are we sure are they only handing them out to a couple of people? That's what it seems like to me. Because why wouldn't Google figure out, oh man, our GPU can't handle some of our #1 titles on our own Play Store, our own App Store. So why don't we get with the developers on the back end and let's see if we can work this out. Let's see if we need to update something in our GPU drivers, or maybe we need to help the developers on their end maybe rework some stuff or recode some stuff over here to get that functionality up and running. Why isn't this figured out before the launch? Seems like an easy thing to do months before you even launch the phone. And those are little things that really, really bug me. Because it's like, hello, they said it will be fixed, but I wish it was fixed before they launched it. What's going on, Daniel? Very impressed with the camera so far. Does yours overheat? Yeah, it looks great. The couple of photos I took yesterday look really, really nice. The portrait mode is fascinating because that's some of the best shots. I didn't take a whole bunch of photos because obviously the overheating thing, but the few that I did take, pretty freaking good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what other. The only other option I can think of is the the Molly um, T series, right? The Molly T, what is it, 921 or 720, something like that. There's a Molly GPU. Who knows? We're not in the boardroom meetings. I have no clue, but there are a couple options out there. And then charging insane prices for that job. You can't make this up. Are they? Very well could be. That's crossed my mind before, but you know, all I can say is that the photos that I've taken on the Pixel, as I mentioned, a few, they're pretty good. But I get your point. They're very, just like all these other YouTubers, yeah, it could be paid for. So that's true. You still have your 9 Pro XL, love it. I think that's what I'm gonna get. I think after I return this 11 series, I think I'm just gonna get me a 9 series, 9 Pro XL. Yeah, maybe, but this new display is supposed to be super power efficient. But I guess it could be. Is it worth switching to a Pixel from an iPhone 17 Pro? I don't know. Only you can answer that. I have no clue. Yeah, best thing for you to do would be to try and find one that you don't have to invest a lot of money in, or find one that has a good return window. So try it for yourself. Now, I wouldn't sell your 17 Pro and then go buy a Pixel, because here's the thing. What if you hate the Pixel? That's happened to me before. I sell a phone to buy another phone, and then when I get that other phone, I freaking hate it. So I'm like, God dang it, why did I do that? So I certainly wouldn't do that. But that's up to you. All these phones are all very subjective, meaning like what you like, I might not like, and vice versa. What I like, you might not like. But only you can answer your own question. But my only advice would be do it smart, or, you know, as smart as you can be about it. But I certainly would not sell your 17 Pro and then take that money and then go buy a Pixel. I would try to find a way to acquire a Pixel, whether it's at Verizon, they're giving away for free, T-Mobile, AT&T. They do have a return. Now, a lot of people don't know this. You can actually cancel, you can return the phone, and you can cancel that service, that line of service. At least Verizon, that was in my fine print, for 30 days. So I was like, okay, well, and I only had to pay the tax. It was like, I don't know, $89. I was like, okay. Now I'm going to return it, but I'm not going to be stuck with that device. So that's what I'm saying. If you do want to get one, read the fine print, do it the smart way, but don't give up your iPhone, because if you hate that Pixel, you're going to be regretting that you sold your iPhone. So, you might, if you've never used one, it's worth a try. I'm a big proponent of at least trying it, right? Like, if you haven't used, if you're a long time iPhone user, give it a try. You might like it, you know, but I wouldn't sell your iPhone to give it a try. Hell no. I enjoyed Pixels a lot, but the features that they're offering that no one else has are now on other devices. So for the price, they are starting to be not worth it. And you know what? Some of my best, or should I say, some of my favorite features are not on Pixel. It's on Samsung. Portrait video mode. Oh no, there's cinematic mode on Pixel. No, I'm talking about from the front-facing selfie camera. There's no portrait video mode on the front-facing camera like on my Samsung. They don't even have that on like a OnePlus or Motorola. It's like a Samsung and iPhone only thing. I think. Doesn't iPhone have that? Maybe they don't, but I know on Samsungs they sure do. I wish they would bring that. I don't know, maybe their CPU can't handle it. It's a lot of processing power. I'm switching from my S24 to Pixel 11 Pro for voice dictation. They certainly have that on lock. That's one thing Google does have going for them, is the AI, the voice. The audio pickup on this Pixel is fantastic. It's the best phone for audio dictation, for audio recording. I'm not talking about with a microphone. I'm talking about on-device microphone. Nothing beats a Pixel, not even an iPhone, not Samsung, nobody. They are the very best at picking up audio. It's been that way for quite a few years now. The speakers are very good on the Pixel. It's in maybe why I get so frustrated sometimes at them, because they have so much potential, but then you get stuff like what happened to me yesterday that just deflates all my excitement for the device. Gone out the window. I'm already over it. I already know I'm going to return the phone, so I'm just like, whatever. All 5 games that you play with no issues? Oh, good. Nice. You got lucky. Well, I don't know if lucky is the right word, but PWM is poor. OnePlus is the best phone for PWM management. The OnePlus 15, I can pull up numerous articles online and YouTube videos that give proof, that give statistics. The OnePlus 15, if you're one of those people that it really bothers you, the OnePlus 15 is the phone to get. Yeah. High quality, maybe. Well, I guess compared to the competition, it's not. It's not a high quality GPU. See, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have. I would like to figure out what's causing it. I'm gonna have to do. See, but here's the thing. I don't know. I guess I could. I'll have to find or come across some really intricate applications when it comes to the details that I'm looking for. I'm sure there might be an app out there, but I gotta unlock the battery stats in the Pixel and unlock a couple of other things through ADB, where I can use some applications to try and find. In fact, I might do that later. If there's wake locks, if the GPU is running when it's not supposed to, is it maxed out all the time when the camera app opens? Yeah, I'm gonna look into this because my wife was asking me. She was like, so if your phone did not overheat, meaning if it was just like a normal phone, you took pictures and videos like any normal phone, would you keep it? And I was thinking, yeah, I probably would. I mean, that was the plan. That was the original plan in the first place. So I was like, yeah, I would keep it. She's like, well, then figure it out. I'm like, sounds easy, but it's, it's going to take a little while. I might not be able to. So I'll download some apps. I'll unlock some stats through ADB tomorrow and see if I can. Plus, there'll be another 24 hours of input from people online saying, oh, I did this and it overheated, or I did that and it overheated, or, no issues with your device overheating. Good. That's good news. I would say with Samsung, but their voice dictation sucks, and they can't seem to ever make it good. Huh. I'm using S26 Ultra. Wouldn't switch to a Pixel 11 Pro XL. That's what I'm using. Boy, I tell you what, yesterday, as much as that video, my overheating video, as much as that video proved that at least my Pixel 11 Pro XL could not handle the heat, it sure told you the opposite. Because My Samsung was on in was in the sun on the concrete, baking like a freaking cookie in an oven, and you couldn't even tell. I mean, it ran smooth as ever. Same thing with iPhone. iPhone was on the tripod for, I don't know, 45 minutes, baking in the sun with a case on it. And that's the other thing. They had cases. So cases, it's like putting on a jacket. They insulate the heat. It keeps the heat in. Heat to cool stuff down needs to dissipate. In those cases, it's like putting a jacket on. The S26 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro both had cases on. Both were in the sun. A-okay. So, and that is reassuring to know that, holy crap, the Pixel, or at least mine, sucks. And these other two phones are the complete opposite. They're pretty friggin' good. So, there is that. That's why I'll always keep a Samsung in my pocket, no matter what phone I'm using as a daily driver. I'm a believer in Samsung, or at least this is a really good phone too. The S26 Ultra, pretty good. Like, I have very little complaints. Delusional if any game developer would waste their time. You bring up a fantastic point. To get their game working on the weakest, most horrible GPU on any device in the past 5 years. You know what? I think you're correct, and I think I'm wrong. I think I'm the one that's smoking dope, and I think you're the one that's thinking logical here. They could probably give, honestly, let's think about this. These developers probably give two shits what Google wants them to optimize their app for their new phone they're putting out. Why? Like, less than 1% of users of their game use a Pixel. So what do they care? Why do they have to bow down to Google? Or why do they have to bend backwards to spend extra time, put extra time and resources, employees into this project working with Google to fix this game on one little phone that less than 1% of users use, when the other 99% of users are probably on Samsung, majority, Motorola, Oppo, Xiaomi? You're probably right. In fact, I know you're right. Damn, I didn't even think of that point. So you got me on that one. You are 1000% right. I think that makes sense. Yeah, you got me. No overheating? Good. I think cameras are good, but the rest is behind Samsung. Yeah, the cameras are really good. That's like one feature that they can hold on to with confidence. That's if their phone doesn't overheat. That's if it works. When it works great, but camera wise. But good luck getting it to work. Are you still getting Oppo Find X10 Pro Max? Yes. So typically this time at the end of the year, I would always get a OnePlus device. They always announce them in September, October, or announce them in October, launch them in November. And that's because they're always one of the first manufacturers to feature the new Snapdragon chip, or Qualcomm chip. Yes. The new Qualcomm Snapdragon chip is being announced in September. That new Snapdragon chip is being pushed out to manufacturers in October, and then that's when the manufacturers announce their new upcoming phone with this new chip, and then in November they launch them. So typically I would always get a OnePlus in November. No more OnePlus, so I'm gonna use that time at the end of the year that I would typically buy a OnePlus, and I'm just gonna switch to Oppo. So I will get the X10 Pro Max. Yeah, because remember, they're changing the names too. Everybody changing names. So the X9 Pro, which is what we are familiar with, it looks similar to that OnePlus 15. Remember, it was the X9 Pro. Well, now the X10 Pro is going to be a smaller 6.4 inch display, and they're going to put the X10 Pro Max on the name that with the 6.8 inch display, the one that kind of like the OnePlus 15. So yeah, I think I'm going to grab one of those for sure, because I'm sending this Pixel back, so it's going back. I'm going to need to get something. Pixel can care less whether they buy their phones or not. They can make all that phone revenue just by charging companies who use their software 3% more. As we discussed last week, I think that's a major issue, or not an issue. I think that's a major factor that goes into what this Pixel phone has become. Again, all right, they'll be just fine if they never sell one more Pixel. And I think that's a major problem for users, for me and you, right? That's a major problem. I don't want you to not care about a product if you sell one, or I want you as a company to be desperate to make the best product so you can get these in people's hands. That's when you got good products, right? I think that's a problem for Google, for these Pixel devices. Apple actually cares about their hardware. Google doesn't. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I mean, saying they don't care might be an overstatement, but maybe not. Meaning, like, they do care, but maybe they don't. I don't know. Just the fact that I have to question that says it all. Solitary crypto. This is unfortunately true. Yeah, well, you know, Genshin is incompatible, but most games have performance problems. They will optimize. They should optimize. Do they? Why you don't think they will? Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. You live in S26 Ultra. My wife has a Vivo. Damn, X300 Pro, and the phone is crazy good. Maybe if they add some anti-reflection tech like the S26 Ultra in the future, it will get even better. I agree. Now, I don't think they will. You're talking about you're talking about the Vivo adding the anti-reflection, or you're talking about the Pixel adding anti-reflection? Because Vivo, I can certainly see them doing that. With Pixel, I don't see them doing that. Maybe in 10 years if they're still around. But it seems like that seems like one of those features that they could just care less about, right? Getting back to caring. I don't think they care about that stuff. Now, that should be concerning to users for the future. But, you know, I love that stuff. It's one of my... They have the anti-reflection on the Tab S11 Ultra. Badass. So I love all that stuff. Yeah, it's true too. Oh boy. Please test your Pixel 11 Pro on the car dashboard with navigation running in the hot sun. Curious if it craps out. Fantastic point. In fact, I'm going to write that down so I can do that. It'll be a glorious fail. I can tell you right now what's going to happen. I got Android Auto in my car, so I can put... I'll do that. I'll do that for you, for everybody. I'll put that up on there on the car mount. I'll be running Android Auto, navigation. It's going to be in the hot sun, and I can guarantee you within... Now, it's not the camera running, but it's going to get hot. I'll get the warning. Trust me. We'll see how long it takes. It'd be a good excuse for me to get out of the house, too. If you know what I mean. Many game developers are not willing to support Power VR. Man. The cooling solution in the Pixel isn't the problem. Once the SoC throttles, it doesn't have the power to sustain performance. Yeah, I had to think about that I had to read that, think about that for a second, but yeah, that's true. I wouldn't be surprised if Power VR gave Google them for for free, since Silicon's probably been sitting in the warehouse. Yeah, I think I mentioned that a month or two ago, where they had like, sure, you want to use the Power VR series? We got them. We got a lot of them back here. I'm sure it was something like that. Please test the Pixel. Yeah, I'll do the dashboard. I don't play games, so personally, I don't care. I can, if it didn't play one game, okay, but I know that's important to a lot of people. So, I mean, to me, it's not a big deal, but I know to the mass population, it's a big deal. Power VR was one of the worst makers of GPUs in the 90s. Funny how they keep on sticking around. I guess Google's keeping them around, right? If anyone is on the offense, get a phone with 16 gigs of RAM now. All the RAM manufacturers said the RAM shortage is only going to get worse all the way through 2027. Yikes. I saw an article on WCCF Tech where these memory manufacturers are going back in manufacturing. They're sourcing all of their components and starting to manufacture DDR4 RAM, and that's selling out. So it's like, holy crap. These memory is in such demand that there are customers out there that are saying, look, just give me memory. I don't care if it's DDR4 RAM. Make it, we gotta have it. And they're selling out all their DD4 RAM, and that shit's like 8 years old. Like, what the hell is going on? I know. I purchased a few 32 gig kits of RAM. I'm talking about for desktop. Right before this hit, so I got I think fours. I think I have. Yeah, I got 16. So I have 4 16 gig sticks of RAM, high performance RAM, for laptop, not desktop, but laptop. I use mini PCs as my streaming computers and stuff, and at home. Yeah, but I've always opted for the larger variants of all of these phones. 16. All these are 16, 512 gigs. What is my iPhone? I don't know. I don't even know. But I agree. They said it's gonna go through 2030s. Like, this is gonna be a thing for years to come, and it's only gonna get worse. And they're thinking it might be past the 2030s before it even gets better. And I'm like, well, who's to say it's gonna even get better? Right? Like, why would they ever lower their costs back to where it was pre-2026? Let's say to 2025 prices. We're never seeing that ever again, ever. But are they going to lower it 5% from where we're at now? Well, it's going to get more expensive as time goes on. Let's say we're in 2032 and the prices are even astronomically higher than they are right now as of today. Now, they might come back 5 to 10%, but that's still more than what it is at right now to this very day. So sure, they could reduce prices slightly, but it's never going back to 2025 prices. They're making way too much money to bring those prices down. It's just not happening, and it sucks. It's unfortunate, but they need to bring back these SD card slots in these electronic devices. Are you still testing the signature? Yes. Yeah. Where is it? I was just using it earlier today. So that's one of the devices. The Pixel is known for one of the best cameras. And these guys, I think, so the Pixel sits at number 5 on the DXOMARK. And where is the signature? I think the signature is number 7. Let's see. Signature's tied at number 11. which is not bad at all. I mean, it's I think it hit the list when this was first launched. I think the signature was at number 5, I believe. I think, and they're still really good. So yeah, if I didn't anticipate the Pixel crapping out on me as fast as it did, literally within a minute and 47 seconds of me taking pictures, it um, but I plan on trying to get this out there and testing this versus the Pixel. So, yes, I have 30, well, I guess now 28 days before I get a return to Pixel. So, I went out earlier today, took some photos, tried to, and I'm going to do the same thing tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So, tomorrow I'm going to put out my network test for the Pixel with the new MediaTek modem, and then tomorrow I'm going to do another heating test to try to get it to overheat. However, I'm going to make it a fair test, a fair comparison with the Pixel 11 Pro XL, probably versus the Samsung, or probably versus the iPhone. Um, it's number one competitor, like it has a competitor, but you know, most people will have iPhones here in the States. So I'm going to make it a fair comparison tomorrow and see just how quick the Pixel craps out, because it's supposed to be 104 tomorrow, even hotter. So we have a lot of stuff to upload. But yeah, I'm going to include the signature in a lot of these videos, or try to. I got you. I got you on the dashboard. I'm going to write that down here when we finish here in a minute. It's a problem with all the big companies, no risk or ability to change, so as profit remains steady. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think well, you know what? It comes down to money. That's the ultimate reason for all of these decisions. If you think, why don't they do this? Money. Why don't they, focus more on photography? Money. Because they can't put in their budget, because all these sensors, you have a long list of sensors to choose from. Well, the ones they've been sticking with, they like those. They've been using them for years, so the developers know how to tweak these sensors. And the reason why they don't put the very best sensors in there is because it costs a lot, and then that allocating a higher cost to newer hardware would go over their budget and eat into the profit margin per phone. So that's the reason why they haven't. Now, it's supposed to change for this S27 Ultra from all the leaks and inside stuff that I've been hearing. You're getting all new camera hardware on this S27 Ultra. So hopefully that'll change. Now they might, those new sensors they pick for the S27 Ultra, we might have those for the next 3 or 4 years, but they sound pretty good. So I think I don't expect the S27 Ultra to be number 1 or number 2 on the list, best camera phones available, but at least crack the top 10, or shit, that might even be pushing it. At least give us a top 15 camera phone, right? Because I think, as I mentioned, when the S26 Ultra was launched, I think it barely got in the top 30. It was like 27 or 28. So at least give us a, they're good, but they're not like, when I took a couple photos of the Pixel yesterday, I was like, holy shit, that's badass. Because I'm used to using my Samsung, so I'm used to the photo quality, video quality, and the Pixel's pretty freaking good. But, it overheats in 2 minutes. But to answer your question, it comes down to money. Google has their partner Samsung caring about Android Torch, so that makes them, they really don't care about their Pixels. Yep. The high-end device with mid-range SoC, camera hardware, Pixel targets software over hardware, but honestly, Google don't really care about Pixel. It's apparent to me. I think you're correct. I honestly believe that. Now, saying they just don't care completely, I don't think it's that far, but do they really, really care? Nah, I don't think so. I mean, sure, people that are employed on the Pixel, in the Pixel department, of course they care, but employees caring on the Pixel team can only go so far if your upper management doesn't really care. bits. She's tried all of them, the Samsung watches, ultras, everything. And y'all know I'm not a smart watch wearer. I hate wearables. She swears by them. The sensors are the most accurate. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. Question: if the Chinese phone manufacturers were allowed to sell in the US, would you buy it? Yes. I think I can answer for everybody. And the answer is yes. I would buy that just as fast as I go buy a Samsung phone. Yes, I can guarantee you, yes. World. I like him. I like his channel. And if anybody's watched his channel over the last month or two, or hell, even a few months, he's been going. He lives in Austin, and he goes to, I think, Taylor, Texas. One of these small towns right outside of Austin, because they're going to put a data center right there. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. I can certainly see people revolting or trying to cut the power cables, or sabotaging them somehow. Yeah, I can see that definitely happening. Is the next Samsung going to have 12 gigs? Well, they have 12 gigs right now. So probably will. I would, you know what, I would like to, although it's going to cost an arm and a leg, I would like to get the 1 terabyte model and get 16 gigs of RAM. Although I don't have any RAM problems. It's just, it would be nice, huh? 5 or 6 years old that have 16 gigs of RAM in them. Razer Fold? It's number 3 on foldables, isn't it? Yeah. Let's go back. Pretty freaking good. Sure, no problem. Yeah, I'll make sure to include that phone in the in some of these reviews over the next few days that I do with the Pixel. So I know I have it in the performance testing that I've been doing with the Pixel, but I'll make sure to include some camera stuff for you as well. In fact, I'll do that tomorrow. Hey, what's going on, brother? Yeah, actual competition in the US would be amazing. I know, right? I know. Yeah. See, and that's what they're scared of. That's why I feel like there's a push to not sell them in America by probably Apple, to be honest with you. I can see Samsung maybe lobbying to make sure these Chinese companies can't sell here, but I think it's Apple. They're giving these politicians all this money under the well, not under the table, but as in donations to have influence, right? And let's put some laws in place to where we don't want any Chinese tech sold here, not even their cars. And they've done a good job at it so far, unfortunately. But I think they would sell like hotcakes, man. Which operating system will stay smoother over the next 4 years? Over the next 4 years, probably Android. Android gets better with time. iPhone is the one that gets worse over time. I'm sure, well, you might not be aware, but, and this is well, a little while ago, but Apple's actually been found guilty in a court of law for slowing down their iPhones with updates. Now they say, oh, we have a good excuse. It's to preserve your battery life. Really? Um, it was always a rumor, and then that came out. Guilty as charged. But Android's the opposite. Android, even if you have a different manufacturer, right? Now I know this is not true for every single Android phone ever made, but let's just take your average flagship phone, the Signature or the S26 Ultra. Now, better in 4 years, that's typically right around when a battery will need to be replaced, 4 to 5 years, depending on usage. But let's say right up until the battery needs to be replaced, just those first 4 years, I would say Android, because the operating system gets more optimized. Typically, I know you can find one where you're like, oh, well, my phone was screwed up after that update. I get it, but we're just saying in general, right? I think Android has iPhone beat in that case. Can't believe S26 Ultra is so low in DXOMARK. In fact, let's find it real quick before we get out of here. Let's see. 21st? Does that sound right to y'all? I thought it was lower than that. Huh. There it is right there. Interesting. Now, I guess technically these could get better, right? I don't know, because there's sometimes where as time goes on, they'll update the phones, they'll tweak some camera stuff to make it perform even better. So I guess technically that could be true. Let's look at a selfie real quick. Oh wait, let's do this. Let's go back. '15th in selfie. I really like the S26 Ultra selfie camera and or the video. Again, portrait video mode, hard to beat. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I know. I think it should get better. Well, I know. Well, it should get better. I'm not gonna say it will, but it should get better next year. Let's see. I think that was it. So I'm gonna get out of here. It's almost 8 o'clock our time. I do appreciate your time. Stick around because tomorrow I'm gonna upload the network test for the Pixel. Everybody wants to know and see how the new MediaTek M90 modem performs, especially up against the Snapdragon modems. And well, I'm also gonna upload a performance video. I'm sure most of y'all can guess the outcome of a performance video when the Pixel 11 Pro XL is up against all these Snapdragon and MediaTek devices and the Apple A19 Bionic devices. You know, but we got real numbers and real tests and real results that we're gonna put on display for everybody. And then I'm gonna probably get to the dashboard video. It should be interesting to see if the Pixel will survive a GPS moment, right? Look, that's a real world scenario, real world test. Just like I use my dashboard mount for whatever phone I'm using. So yeah, actually that's a really good idea. And people need to know that, right? Because I can certainly see, I have so many phones here, you know, it's like, if one doesn't do well in the direct sunlight, no biggie, I'll just stick another one up there. But I know a lot of people don't have 6-7 phones to choose from. Most people just have one phone. So it is a big deal if the phone that you purchase won't survive a a navigation moment, or just a general Android Auto moment where you're driving around town, errands. You don't want your device overheating and crapping out while you depend on it, right? Maybe you are a driver with Uber Eats or Grubhub or anything. Maybe you're going to the lake for the weekend and can't remember how to get there. It's a big deal. So yeah, I appreciate those tips and information, and I'll certainly record one of those for y'all. So appreciate your time. I'm gonna get out of here. We'll do another one tomorrow, and just for future live streams. On the weekends is when you, the viewer, can join me up here. Maybe I need to be more vocal about it. I did put the link to join me up on StreamYard, and if you want to talk technology, it is in the description box. Maybe I need to, put that out there more. It is in the description box. So here's what I'll do tomorrow. For tomorrow's live stream, I'll put the link to join me in the description box down below, and I'll also post it in the chat, and I'll pin it. So whenever you click on the video, it'll be the very first comment up there in the chat. So if you want to come talk technology with me, the weekend is your time to do that. So we'll do another live tomorrow. And if you want to join me, if you're watching this, please be my guest. I encourage you to join me. And again, you don't have to show your face at all. We can just have the audio going, but it'll be a good chance for you and I and the rest of the community to talk some technology. Maybe you got a question, or maybe you don't know what phone to buy, or should you get the Pixel, or what about this scenario, or iPhone, Android, whatever. Join me on the panel on the live stream tomorrow, and we can discuss whatever you want. So I'll put that in the description box again tomorrow, and then once we start it tomorrow, I'll put it in the chat and I'll pin it up the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and schedule that live right now, and I appreciate everything. I really do. Thank you. I really, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. I just tuned in, but I did find out in the battery settings for the Pixel 11 Pro XL, I'm waiting to try to find out if there's an actual item you have to click in order to get faster charging. Thank you for bringing this up. I know I'm getting out of here, but I have to mention this gentleman's question. It's driving me insane. That's why I'm really starting to wonder, is it just my Pixel that's messed up, or are there other people out here that are having this same issue? My wife has a Pixel 11 Pro. Her extreme charging feature, what do you know, actually allows you to activate it when you are below 50%. On mine, it's just stuck there gray. I can't activate it. And yesterday on yesterday's charging video, I showed you it was at 37%. Plugged it in. I went through the entire settings. Am I going crazy? What's going on here? Where's the fast charging? Oh yeah, extreme charging. Okay, where's that at? Well, why can't I activate it? On my wife's 11 Pro, she can activate it. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no. I did. It's these little things that really bother me, like you. I have no clue what's going on. I don't know. There is an article. Let me show you. If you want a little more information than what I'm giving you, there's a really good article on, let me pull it up here for you. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because they have the same issue. They posted an article yesterday saying extreme charging features here, but we can't activate it. I came across it because I thought I was going crazy, and I looked it up online. Like, what the hell is going on? In the middle of recording a video, I paused the video and I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I found this article with Android Police. And that's why I linked it in my video yesterday. I put the link for Android Police down in my video description. I don't know what's going on. No, yeah, I know it has a smaller, it has a smaller battery. I get that, right? But this feature is supposed to be featured on the Pro and the Pro XL. On the Pro models, it's an extreme charging feature where it'll charge up. Now, she said her device got super hot yesterday. When she activated it, she said she couldn't even hold it. It was so hot. So I don't know what's going on. It's supposed to be there for XLs, for Pros and Pro XLs. It's supposed to, and I cannot activate it. And neither can this gentleman, Peter, and neither could Android Police. So it's happening to a number of users. For look, grayed out just like that. So they're saying, let me take this off the screen. One of the features, yes, okay. Can't get this option to turn on. No matter what I try, it's grayed out and remains grayed out. And I am not alone. Other Pixel 11 users are complaining about this too. Okay, so it's not just me, it's not just you, it's not just Android Police. Apparently there's more people where it's just doesn't activate. And again, it's only supposed to activate below 50%, meaning let's just say you're at 11%. Screen. What the hell is going on here? Really? Hang on a second. I can't select anything. I can hear fine. What the hell is going on here? Really? Hang on a second. I'll look in the settings after this is done and see if there's something on my end I can boost the volume, but I think it's fine on my end. Charger doesn't support full power. It's not the charger. Well, that matters obviously, but this is supposed to be a feature. I get what you're saying. I'm gonna test. I'm gonna do a whole nother charging review tomorrow with the official 45 watt Google Pixel charger. So we'll test it all over again tomorrow and see what happens. But so far, this launch of the Pixel 11, at least Pro XL for me, looks like a freaking disaster. So I've already made my mind up. I'm sending it back, but I'm going to try to record and test as much stuff as possible on this phone. So users, that are potentially on the fence, because it sucks. Look, I've been there. I still go there where I'm like, should I get it? Should I not? Well, I have the device, so I'm going to record and do a bunch of stuff so I can put it out there and just let you be the judge. And again, look, there's some users, you saw it right here in the chat, that have the phone and say there's, it's completely normal. So, I guess you're rolling the dice when you get a Pixel phone. You don't know what you're getting, and that sucks too. Let's face it. If you're Google, you can't afford to have a roll your dice type of product where, you buy one, maybe fine. You buy one, it might really suck. It's not a good. You need a good, consistent product that you sell. Pixel right now is not it. But stay tuned. I gotta run. I got a lot of stuff we're gonna upload tomorrow. And if you want to join me tomorrow, everybody is more than welcome to do that tomorrow. Again, I'm gonna schedule it right now, and I'll put the links in the description box and in the chat tomorrow, and you can just select the link and come join me up on the panel. But I gotta run. I really, really appreciate your time. Please have a safe but enjoyable rest of the Saturday evening, and I will see you all tomorrow. Peace out. Thank you. Nah, it's not okay. It's not okay. It overheats. You'll see. You'll see. Well, you can go back and watch the video I uploaded yesterday. No, it's not good. It's not.
Yeah. Woo.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.